Good afternoon. So thanks for attending this section. This section is going to present what we have done here for the infrastructure regarding the Km4City, the urban platform. And so I have a set of slides that can give you an overview of what we have done with a technical overview and in place now in the area of in Tuscany and in Florence in particular. So our main aim was to set up a solution for creating control room for real-time monitoring what is going on in the city. And that is the front end for the municipality. Behind the front end, there are a number of data analytics and business intelligence algorithms. Obviously, they means that we are capable to collect the data, and data are coming from many open data sources and also from sensor, static data, real-time data, and so on. And what we use what we do with those data is to support the municipalities to take decision, and also to create some to close the loop directly with the end user, with defining strategy and stimulating the end user to have a virtuous behavior. So in substance, we transform the data in a value for the city. So this is what we have in place now in the integrated architecture. So we support and we enable the whole solution with for smart parking, smart first aid information, smart fuel pricing for the whole Tuscany, smart public transportation in Tuscany, traffic sensors, smart routing, again in Tuscany, weather condition, weather forecast, pollution and pollination monitoring, bike sharing in Pisa, for instance, recharge station for e-vehicle in Florence, traffic events in Florence as well, and entertainment events in Florence, people monitoring, blah, blah, blah. So all these data, all these scenarios are integrated in the same infrastructure that is in place in Tuscany. Tuscany is a region of 3,500,000 inhabitants and collects a lot of cities. The major city in Tuscany is Florence, and with about 1,500,000 inhabitants in the large, plus 1 million of tourists that arrive in Florence every month. So behind all these things, there is an integrated model that gives the name of the infrastructure. Km4City means the knowledge model for the city. And the data model is supported by an architecture that allows you to collect the data coming from different operators. So from transport operator, public service, sensor, IoT, environmental aspect, water, energy, shops, and commercial and social media. All these data are collected in real time and aggregated in a unified platform. The unified platform is allowed to overcome the problem of the silos. So no any more silos with this approach, because all the data are integrated with the knowledge model. And on the knowledge model, we do big data analytics. We provide support for installing your big data analytics tools. And we also provide some automatic recommendation and engagement and personal assistance to the final user. So this is the back office. On the front end of the back office, there are the Smart City API. On the Smart City API, it's possible to use and exploit the data by using dashboard, that some of them are in the running video just outside this room. And a lot of information are going to move on the dashboard just to show the status of the city, of the region in real time. And the same Smart City API can be used by your mobile application to exploit and to provide prediction for parking or traffic flow and so on to your final user. So the model is an ontology and knowledge base, is a multi-domain, so integrate several different domains, only one way to query and to search your data, your integrated data in the infrastructure. So everything is open source, including the ontology, and so you can have, for instance, in the case of Tuscany area, we integrate the structural information regarding the street, the road map, the civic number, the segment of the street that can be used, for instance, for routing or other things, or the whole Tuscany that are more than 1,500,000 civic number, to give you just an idea. And on top of this information, we have a point of interest, any kind of point of interest that are classified in more than 500 different categories that range from a museum to commercial and bar, restaurants, accommodation, or gardens, or rec for cycling, and so on, plus a number of real-time data. What you see now is what we have now in place on Tuscany, really, operative. So this is just some of the tools on which you can play with. All the tools are available. You can go there and play and see. And what we do with those tools, we create a control room, such as this one, or those that are mentioned there. Control room put together several different domains. For instance, the transport system, mobility, environment, social media, and so on. This is an example of 4 dashboards that we are creating for Florence municipality with their collaboration. So they are the first version of the dashboard in according to the Replicate project. And they are a mix, so environment and health, energy, and social media, mobility and transport. We have another dashboard, this is for resilience, again in Florence, that put together so events and conditions of the events and civil protection aspect, environmental, triage, social media, status of the Wi-Fi and the movement of the people in the street, and reactions on the social media from the people, so many details. This is another one that show you the events and the measure events and cameras in the area. This is another one for Tuscany that show the status of the hospitals in the whole Tuscany. This is the app, how the same information is shown in the hand of the final user through the app. They can see the first time the status of the major hospital in the whole region. Again, other dashboards, I am skipping. Among these dashboards, there are also possibilities to monitor traffic flow and origin-destination matrices. Other dashboards. And what we do with these dashboards, at the end, the data arrive on the dashboard and can be used to take decision or to understand what is going on. But what we have also developed is some tools for analyzing the process and see if there are some conditions for detecting the early warnings or assessing the resilience of the city. And this has been done in the Resolute project. Resolute project also perform and provide tools for risk assessment and to support taking decisions using the classical smart thinking and system thinking approach with the Bayesian networks. So how is possible to monitor the city with the social media? We set up an infrastructure that is called the Twitter Vigilance. On Twitter Vigilance is operative since 2 years. We have collected about 300 million of tweets, not only for Tuscany and Florence, but for many other services and activities. Twitter Vigilance is providing you information and alerts according to what is going on, so you can set up in real time the triggers for monitoring what is going to happen in the social media. These are some examples for the early warning or the water bomb in Florence in August 2015, and some hot flows in Tuscany predicted by Twitter Vigilance, and also attendance of long-lasting events like Expo 2015, or attendance of recurrent events like X Factor or TV show like X Factor or football match are also in our track record. So everything is validated, has been proved, statistically viable, and so on. This is an example of the monitoring tool in place for vigilance in Florence through the social media. So we monitor also the movement of the status of the city and the movement of the people in the city through the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi monitoring has been set up with the city of Florence and the municipality of Florence to, let's say, change and reorganize the Wi-Fi in a way that we can monitor what is going on in the city. The idea is to analyze and extract this information of how people move in the city for tuning the service of the city, for improving the service for tourism, but also for citizens. This is just a list of predictive models. We have set up a predictive model for the Wi-Fi as well. This is the Wi-Fi monitoring tool in the hand of City of Florence. They can see the heat map of the hottest part of the city, and other graphs like this, on which they can see how people stay, how many people stay in the city for more than 1 day, or how many returning guys are in the city, or how many new visitors of the city arrive at the city every day, and so on. Which are the most interesting places for the city users, and so on. So the behavior of the city user has been clusterized, so analyzed in a way that each part of the city, these are the access points in the city, have a different kind of behavior and usage of the city. So this is very interesting, because in this way you can see that you have similar behavior in the park here, but not the park has a different attitude in the second part of the park and the first part of the park, and you have a uniform attitude inside the downtown, and so on. So this approach is very useful to predict how many people are going to be in a given place at a given time in a given day of the week. If it is holiday or not holiday, you know how many people are going to be there. And this is very useful if you need to have some evacuation in the case, or you need to clean the city, or to monitor, or to send police services and other things. And you also extract from this data origin and destination matrices, so you know where the people are and which is the probability to move from a point to another inside the city. So we monitor also the traffic flow. Traffic flow is monitored at the level of Tuscany. So the whole Tuscany is about 800 different sensors spread along the main cities and the main street and highway in the Tuscany region. And from the traffic flow, we reconstruct the traffic in the city using traffic flow and apps. And also we monitor the parking. These are track and behavior of the parking usage in the measure in some of the parking in Florence. Some of the parking lots are very crowded, so they reach frequently, as you see here, 0 free space, and those parking are those located close to the hospital, for instance, and it's very critical, and are also close to the major highway or major railway station. So we have in place now a mechanism for making prediction with a 97% of prediction capability and precision, with a high precision. And the same information is for smart parking is provided to on the hubs, to the final user. They can have 15 minutes or 15 minutes of half an hour in advance how it's going to be freed or full the parking, and they also are having now the possibilities to see which is the probability in the next week to have a parking in a given place in the city. So we did the same things in San Francisco in the past. So with the hub, we have an app in place in both Florence and Tuscany wall. We have also another. We started recently also to replicate the same activity in the city of Cagliari. The city of Cagliari is presently collecting the data and moving the data in the infrastructure, and probably in 2-3 months we are going to have the same, and most of these features in the app are going to be also on Cagliari. On the app, you see the functionality expressed before, so smart parking, first aid, fuel pricing, bike sharing, weather condition, and so on. And you see the trend for the parking, the first aid, the traffic flow, the public transportation. It's quite complex because you can imagine that in Tuscany we have 16 different operators for mobility and public transport. 15 different operators means to have 15 different sources of data. They have to be aggregated, we have to be searchable, and thousands of bus stops and different tracks and lines and so on. Everything is updated in real time, automatically. So these are apps, snapshots. So what we collect from the apps? From the apps, according to the informed consent, we ask to the user to give us the possibilities to track his behavior completely anonymously, without asking any email or any Facebook or any other kind of account. We track just anonymously the position and the moment of the people, is in according to the EU legislation, and we know in that way where they go, what they do, if they move, which are the most relevant places that they visit, what they like, and what they're looking for, what they search, what kind of buses they take, and so on. According to this data, we extract trajectories of places in Florence, but also in the other city of Tuscany, and we extract the origin-destination matrix again. And so we have the possibility to make forecasts and so on. And also we monitor the people, how they move with the detail. This is more or less what you can have always by using Google, if you like, or other things. At the end, we can send them we analyze their behavior and send them some suggestion to get a more virtuous behavior in the city. For instance, we detect if some driver is used to use his own private car instead of using the public bus, and we suggest to them, please take this. If you take the bus, you spend less time in parking, or we suggest to the guy to park in a different place if they are used to go in a parking that is full today. And so we have a tool for shaping this kind of rules, and we are testing a number of these rules with the organization, with the public transport operators. We have in this project 15 operators, directly and indirectly inside, and we test this tool for pushing people in having a more sustainable mobility in the whole Tuscany. So the API, the application program interface, is used to create a new app, and I am not going to go in deep on the API. There is a documentation that you can download because all the functionality that you have seen in the app are used through the API. Just to give you an idea of how dense is the information I'm sorry, but it's very hard to read, but each block is 100 or 800 pin. There are about 300,000 information in Tuscany and about 250 different triples in the data store, indexed geographically and spatially indexed. So most of the activity is started with the public transport, so ticket, bus suggestion, or searching for bus, multimodal routing, real-time delay of buses, and so on. And so this is a cycling path, other stuff, and first aid, as I told you before. I am going faster. So the infrastructure, the main aim is to push the people to have a more sustainable attitude to the city. So to change the attitude and use to stimulate virtuous attitude, to have a more sustainable habits, to help them in finding the car where they have parked, to park the car in a place in which they don't have to pay according to their residential home, and many other tricks. So we understand what they do, and so we can suggest them how they should move. So since we are a university, all the tools that have been developed has been developed in open source with the modularity approach. So you can download them and reuse them without sending us any euro. Everything is license free and free of charge. All the tools are based on open source tools, and so you don't have to spend an euro for use the infrastructure. We have, among the tools that we developed, we have also developed a number of development tools for creating apps, for instance, or for generating dashboard that I am not describing here. So this is just a tool for generating apps. So for you, it's enough to know that there is a way to create a new apps using the Smart City API that we created, in a way that you can create new apps in a short time. And the same for ingesting the data. We have a number of tools that allow you to upload data in the system, and the system can be located on your premise or in some cloud or in whatever you want. This is the dashboard builder. It is a tool for creating the dashboard that are shown outside. How this large system has been created. So we started in the 2013 with an internal investment, and then in the 2015 we get the first funding from the European Commission project, reusing the infrastructure and improving the infrastructure. So adding more functionalities and adding more conceptual model on the same ontology. After a few months, other 6 months, we obtained the start in another big project that is Simobility. Simobility is a 13 million funded project by the government, while Resolute project was 3,800,000 funded by the European Commission with the Athens and several partners inside, 8 or 9 partners. Simobility is something with 25 partners in Italy. Simobility is the only smart city project for mobility and transports in Italy. Is the platform, is going to create the platform for mobility and transport for the smart city. And this is our goals. After, in the 2016, we also have been enjoyed to be involved in Replicate, that is a flagship project in which the municipality of Florence is involved. So there are flyers there, and Alessandra also was involved in the elevator speech this morning. They have a stand there also, and it is one of the flagship in which there are many others, obviously things that I'm not entitled to talk because they are outside of the ICT. There are energy and other things, but Alessandra is going to provide you information if you like. The ICT infrastructure for integrating data is the one that you have seen, and so we added other information and contribution, and we offered the platform to those projects. In the 2016 and 17, we added more projects. GHOST is another project for the Italian ministry with the idea of having this infrastructure in Cagliari, and then we had a LIFE project and other smaller projects joined the system. So this is C-Mobility. C-Mobility, we are going to have an experimentation in the whole Tuscany with all municipalities involved. You see them, some of the municipality and local government mentioned here with their logo, with the logo also of Regione Toscana that has delivered the involvement in the project. In this project we have a lot of operators for public transportation, and so we have all the partners and the support for the political parties. The C-Mobility is, as you can understand from the name, is strongly focusing on the sustainable mobility, to have service and new services for people that are going to move in the Tuscany in general. And while the Replicate is more focused on energy and Resolute more on resilience and risk assessment. But the underlying model is something that put all together, because now is the time to don't have any more the silos, but to have the possibilities to have all the data aggregated together, to have the possibility to make query just to understand what is going on and to collect the data from the different aspects that are referred to the same element in the city. So it's not possible anymore to have many separate infrastructures that are not talking each other. This is a way to have a unified platform that can be located on your premise, as I told you before. So Resolute is one of the projects we are presenting here, and the project is mainly on the resilience. So we are creating with Resolute the European guidelines for the resilience of the city, and with a special accent on mobility aspects. So how the mobility and transport infrastructure in the city can be resilient, can react to unexpected, unforeseen, unplanned events in the city. In this case, we have a pilot in Florence and Athens. In Florence, mainly for the flooding scenarios, just to understand how the city could react, could be prepared to react in any way, in any kind of different scenarios. And also the other pilot is in Athens, in which they have a very large metro with about, if I will remember, 12 million of movement per month. And so they are afraid to have some terrorist attack in that case, so the scenarios is quite different and the conditions are quite different. The last one is Replicate, but I'm sure that Alessandra gave it to you a lot of more information. I report here the list of partners and just the information that is led by San Sebastian. Florence and Bristol are other two cities. They more or less have the same role regarding the definition of the activity in their area, San Sebastian, Florence, and Bristol, plus there are some followers. The accent is on integrated infrastructure, energy, urban mobility, and you see the long list of partners. Municipality of Florence is the lead partner for the Florence area, obviously. The dashboard that you have seen outside, the dashboard tools and have been developed in the context of, obviously, of Replicate. And these are the acknowledgements according to the rules for the European Commission and so on.